Want a weird robots and humans tale? You're in the right spot. News from Manhattan in a tear-soaked world and makes David eager to depart. But Joe quickly dampened his hopes, noting the blue fairy might be a myth or just a virus confusing AI, as humans dislike robots. David frowned instantly, retorted Joe, saying Mom would never hate him. She loves her unique son, and all will be fine when he becomes real. But Joe, like a com detective, pointed out the harsh truth. Mom loves what he does, not him, the fleshless robot. Just like what I do for my clients, they can't possibly love a robot without flesh and blood. Joe hoped David would stick around. David heeded Joe's advice, said a cool goodbye, and was surrounded by cops right after stepping out. So dramatic. At that moment, David found an unattended helicopter, climbed aboard, but with no flying experience, he couldn't operate it, making it go wild. Eventually, he flipped over Joe's police car by accident. Amid the chaos, Joe secretly smiled at David. Although he didn't quite trust humans, he was willing to help David chase that impossible wish. Finally, Joe piloted the helicopter, taking David to the submerged. In this lifeless ghost city, only the ruins silently spoke of humanity's glorious past, right at the city's heart. They finally spotted the Weeping Bear statue and discovered a hidden office in the building above. But there was no blue fairy in the office. Instead, there was a boy in white who looked just like David, claiming to be named David too and saying he was a real human. David felt an unprecedented wave of anger, afraid that this clone would take away his everything, especially his unable to hold back. He picked up the nearby lamp and went wild on the white-clad boy, smashing until the head was gone. What a mechanical warrior. Just then, Joe rushed over trying to intervene, and suddenly, David's creator, Professor Hobby, appeared like a superhero to stop him. Turns out, this scientist had been lying in wait, recording every action of David. Even the doctor's guidance was meticulously designed by him. He just wanted to verify whether this mechanical being really had yearnings like a human, and the professor was in awe of David being the perfect experiment. This little robot had dreams and set out on a journey to find the blue fairy, showing a determination on par with humans chasing their ideals. Everything indicated that David had independent thoughts. Indeed, the professor's experiment succeeded, creating a robot who knows dreams and love. The harsh truth emerged. David was merely a shadow of his son. The grieving professor stubbornly crafted machines that resembled the sun. Unfortunately, he never saw how cruel this obsession was. David wandered the lab lost, like a directionless bird. He stumbled upon countless identical robot boys around him, leading to a complete psychological breakdown as the truth hit him hard. Turns out, emotions and memories were nothing but assembly line standard procedures. Even his unwavering love for Mom was mass-produced. All this led him to lose sight of any purpose in existence and choose to sink into the dark depths, seeing death as a potential liberation. Joe saw it all as a mechanical being. He couldn't ignore it. David's metal body sank slowly, surrounded by fish. Then, a magical scene unfolded as the fish seemed to be guided by a mysterious force, lifting David to plunge into a different realm. He found himself in the long-abandoned Disney park, and David's gaze suddenly locked onto something, reigniting a flame of hope. But just as he was about to get closer, Joe yanked him back to shore. I saw you, I really saw you. David shouted in excitement to Joe, but before he could finish, the cops chasing Joe showed up again. Remember me when you become a real boy. Seizing the last chance, Joe told David, don't forget me when you grow up. Cherish our time together. Goodbye, Joe, goodbye, David. At his last moment before capture, Joe helped David start the dive. I'm all ready. David and Teddy dived down to the seabed again, finally finding the blue fairy he had long dreamed of. She looked so gentle and beautiful that David was mesmerized, imagining until the Ferris wheel collapsed onto the helicopter. He didn't even open his eyes, just gazing hopefully at the blue fairy, continuously praying, please let me become a real boy. Please let me become a real boy. He prayed on until the lights went out and the ice encased him. And so, this obsession spanned 2,000 years. As the stars descended and ice enveloped the planet, humankind had become a legend, replaced by higher mechanical beings who discovered the frozen David during their explorations. Awakened David immediately hurried toward the statue of the blue fairy, still firmly believing she would grant his wish. In doing so, he could be reunited with his mom, but this was ultimately a fairy tale, the statue already ravaged by snow and ice. The dream he pursued all his life shattered before him. David then noticed the frozen ocean and strange creatures around. A high-level robot placed a hand on David's forehead, helping him access memories, which was vital historical data for When David opened his eyes again, he found himself back at the home he'd enjoyed for 2,000 years. He rushed inside shouting, Mom. But all he got were echoes of memories. Even the blue fairy outside was just an illusion from mechanical beings after viewing David's memories. They aimed to bring David joy, as he was unique to them, yet they lacked any memory of his mother. Teddy quietly approached and retrieved a gift he had cherished for 2,000 years, a strand of hair David had cut. Teddy had been quietly keeping that strand of hair until this very moment, and the advanced robots were willing to fulfill David's request. But they are not omnipotent. Genes can revive humans, yet memories lie in time-space. The time-space continuum could only be accessed once, and after surviving a day, everything about him would fade away. For David, having his mother's love for just one day was enough. He arrived at the room and saw his mom peacefully asleep in bed.